Driving in Boston. The roads are old, the weather is unpredictable, and the drivers are animated.
Yeah, there are a few drivers I would replace with robots.
Well, the robot drivers are here. They're called autonomous vehicles, or AVs, and a company you might have heard of called Waymo is testing them all over the streets of Boston. Whether Bostonians are ready or not.
I'm still a little bit nervous to experience one or be on the street with one.
There's obviously concerns about the risk and like the safety aspect of self-driving cars.
I think I just wouldn't be able to fully relax. Yeah, I'd be on edge most of the time, I think.
I'd feel safe in one. Being outside of one is where I think it would be a little more scary.
But Waymo has been weighing the risk factors as they've 3D mapped the Boston area over the past several months. Now, they're not yet driverless. Each Waymo in the state is still required by law to have a human driver behind the wheel. But it likely will not be long before we start seeing cars that have nobody in the driver's seat as a part of everyday traffic. So to help us understand just what to expect, we sent for a true expert in transportation and urban planning, arranging for a car to pick him up in Cambridge. Vehicles may be automated, but the curiosity desk isn't yet.
So
good to see you again.
Wonderful. I saw I was talking to an empty car. You actually exist.
That's true. Paint the picture, it's 2026. Where do we stand in terms of autonomous vehicles? Are they fully baked? Where are we at?
The top tier are ready. It's operating at scale. In Phoenix, in San Francisco, it's already everywhere there, right? If you talk to the local resident there, they no longer think this even as a novelty. This is part of my life. I take a Uber, I take a Waymo, I drive my own car. They're all part of my option now. Public acceptance can shift very quickly.
Yeah. But public acceptance can be tough to come by in an older, more traditional city. And Boston's, shall we call it, unique layout could present a few challenges.
The roads can be a little crazy, the turns can be fast.
They're not intuitive at all. They're not gridded out or anything. There's like a lot of jaywalking.
The splits, the tunnels.
The construction messes up GPS in your car.
You wonder how well a robot could navigate that if a number of the people here are struggling to navigate that. So I don't know, I'm still nervous about it.
Look at this. We've got some sort of construction weird thing happening here. We got some construction happening over here. This is also a slightly irrational setup to begin with.
Right.
How challenging is this whole setup?
Yeah, for this, a couple of years ago, AV will just give up. It doesn't know what to do with it.
And then what would it do? Just sort of stop and does not compute.
Now, in most cases, actually AV is able to deal with this chaotic situation. The big difference is the introduction of this modern AI. We call it a large language model. They are able to reason the specific situation. The difference is this. Previously, you had to define yes or no, if then, beforehand.
So you just think through every possible scenario that could exist, and then say, when you find this scenario, this is what you do.
Right. The critical breakthrough is with this foundational model today, including both language, vision, and action, we're able to reason about a novel scenario.
Oh, look at this! That's unbelievable! There's a Waymo right in front of us! And unlike human drivers, if one autonomous vehicle makes a mistake, the entire fleet can be programmed to avoid that same mistake in the future. But let's face it, it is one thing for AVs to bop all around a sunny city like San Francisco. But Boston?
Boston is buried in snow.
You can't always see the lines on the road. Like the normal markers that you use to navigate and stay safe are just not readily available.
If you have a blizzard in Boston, AV shouldn't drive. Human car shouldn't drive either.
Right. I think it's important to remember that baseline driving is not 100% safe.
Exactly. We pay a lot of attention to how good AV safety need to be, but it's important for us to understand how bad we have been. The current system is.
Are you saying I'm not a good driver?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Edgar. Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah.
When human drivers are aggressive, they actually indeed pose a challenge on AV, which is the AV need to learn how to be assertive. if you're too conservative, you're just stuck there and going nowhere.
Well, anybody who's driven in Boston knows that. Like, because if you're just waiting,
Right.
you will be waiting for the rest of your life.
Exactly. So therefore, the China AV not only have to understand, obey the traffic rule, you also have to learn the norm of driving. Kind of being part of the crowd.
Yeah.
Learn what other people do here.
Fascinating. But just as AVs are learning how people drive, many of those drivers are raising serious concerns.
I came here today a little bit fearful of the advent of technology that might put me out of work.
Companies that are putting driverless cars and trucks on our roadways like to describe themselves as people who are working towards a utopian future, and nothing could be further from the truth.
I don't think that this, in this moment, makes good sense for the city of Boston.
Waymo vehicles are involved in 5 times fewer injury-causing collisions compared to humans.
AVs are a choice. They add to the transportation ecosystem and the choices that people have.
To me, autonomous vehicles is not a dystopian future. It is my mobility, my freedom, my independence.
It would be unfortunate to sully this city's reputation by being the only major city on Earth to ban this life-saving technology.
So far, it's kind of a binary discussion. You ban it, or you embrace fully.
Right.
I think neither extreme is a helpful position here. I would recommend for the labor union, the Uber drivers, to put the energy to work with this AV technology company and the cities to prepare for the transition.
And so it sounds like what you're saying is, it's coming.
It's coming. Boston is not that different from the rest of the country here, right? I cannot imagine all the other cities are embracing it and Boston being an island is securing itself, right?
Well, I know the emotion thing is, I think, one of the chief challenges, because the car and owning a car and driving your car and it's a powerful piece of American culture.
That's very true. At the same time, we have people too old to drive, too young to drive, disabled person who couldn't afford a car, who don't know how to drive. That's a huge chunk of population who don't have access, right? So AV can provide amazing service.
It's a nice, hands-off experience.
24/7 availability of it, that it could be available 2 or 3 in the morning where, the number of taxis and Ubers that are running at that time of day are certainly less.
All the self-driving cars currently are electric. That's great for the environment.
I'd feel safer at night, especially. I'm excited to see how they'll do it. I would definitely use the service.
Ultimately, whether you like it or not, driverless vehicles are going to be a part of Boston's transportation future. But so will vehicles operated by humans. Thanks for taking this drive with me.
Nice.
Really appreciate it.
Always enjoy talking to you.
Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, I love the curiosity desk. That's perfect.
Well, there you have it, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you got something to say, don't keep it to yourself. There's a comment section just below. And hey, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, which I say you should, there's information right there on the screen. All right, until next time, I'm Edgar B. Herwick III. You stay curious out there.